Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Rose. In our previous video, I promised you that I was going to share with you a story that was shared to us on our TikTok live stream. And the reason why I'm bringing this story here is that it's very important for people to understand that you don't have to put your life at risk for the sake of residency papers, for you to be able to live in Europe, in the US, in Canada, in Australia, in any country. So, and I think this is like a continuation of what we talked about in my previous video. And when I ended that live, I was traumatized, guys. So anywho, this lady joined our lives. We had our topic. We had already prepared the topic that we were going to discuss. But then she was like, Rose, bring me up. I have something to say. So I was like, okay. So I bring her up. You know, on TikTok, you can bring people up to speak. Like, I find like YouTube should make it like that so we can just host lives and people can discuss different things. Like many people, you can bring up to 8 people to discuss. So I bring this lady up and then she's like, okay, so my story begins when I met this guy on International Cupid. And when she met this guy, they started chatting as it goes, and things went well. And quickly they established that they were a match. They were good for each other. So they continued getting to know each other. And in the end, the guy said that he's going to go to Kenya and visit her. Okay, so this guy is from West Africa. She didn't specify the country, but she said he's from West Africa, but he's living in Italy. Okay, so he comes to Kenya and he visits her and they have a good time, and then he goes back, and I think the second visit he came and they got married. Okay, so they arranged to get married and they got married, and then they started the process of the family reunion visa, which she got, and she moved to Italy. Now, this is where things get interesting because as far as I know, when you move to Europe with a family reunion visa, then you just have to wait for your card, your temporary card to arrive, and then you have your residency card. That's how it goes, especially if your papers are processed by the embassy. Okay, so in my case, and I must say mine was long time ago, so obviously things have changed because every year things change, rules change. But for me, in 2015, I went on family entry visa, which was valid for 90 days. And then in those 90 days, I was supposed to file the papers myself in Greece, which I did, and I was successful. And then I got the card. But in her case, I think the papers were processed by the embassy. And when the papers are processed by the embassy, you go there and everything is ready. So anyway, I don't know what went wrong here, but she was talking about papers. So anyway, she moves to Italy, and just the first week of moving to Italy, they had a misunderstanding, which obviously it's understandable. Once you move in with somebody, as we said in our previous video, that's when you start getting to know the person, and of course you will have misunderstandings as you start now clicking and start to getting to know each other. That this whole thing, I feel like when you get married from online dating, from a long distance relationship, and then you move in, the first 2 years is the years of dating. That's when you're now dating. That's when you're getting to know each other while you are married and living together. So anyway, so they have a misunderstanding, and the guy ends up slapping her, like just slaps her. And then she's shocked. She's like, did you just slap me? And then, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, you just got me so mad that, I overreacted. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, it will never happen again. I don't know what came over me. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. So she lets it go. Then they continue with their life. And then a couple of weeks later, something happens. They have a big argument. Okay, they have like a really serious argument. And this is when the guy really becomes violent. Really, like seriously. Now, this goes on and it goes on for a while, and she doesn't call the police and she doesn't take any action. At this point of the story, I asked her, I said, why didn't you do anything? And then she said, no, I didn't want to do anything because I didn't want to call the police because I didn't want to jeopardize my papers. I'm like, okay, so the guy is beating you up and you just going to put your life at risk because you're waiting for this residency paper. Anyway, so she goes on to say that the guy now really became, she was now living in fear because every little disagreement, it ends up in violence, And keep in mind, while they were dating, while they were doing the whole long distance and online dating, the guy portrayed himself as a God-fearing, a Christian, a devoted Christian, because the lady is a Christian, is a devoted Christian. So they used to read the Bible together, they used to pray together. But when she moved to Italy, everything about religion, about Christianity just vanished on his side. He won't pray with her. He won't do none of those things that they used to do while they were doing a long distance. So it turns out this guy was not even a Christian. He just pretended to be a Christian, I guess, to just to hook her, but he was not a Christian. This is another thing. That's why I said people can hide a lot of things while you're doing this whole long distance, because people can pretend to be anything. So he was pretending to be a Christian, but actually he was not a Christian. So this goes on for a long time, to a point where now, like, he's really violent with this lady, like, seriously, okay, in every way. Even in the matters of bedroom, like everything, he's just violent. So it reaches a point where now she cannot take it anymore. She has to go to the police. So she went to the police, and when the police asked her, do you want us to take you away from this place? What do you want us to do? Do you want to press charges? Because at this time she even have evidence, like she's really beaten up, like she has bruises and her face is swollen and everything. So tell me why this lady says that this guy should not be arrested, that they just need to have a talk with him. To which the police said, no. First of all, you are going to the hospital. You are going to get the report from the doctor, and this man is getting arrested. We are arresting him. So I am not sure, but I think this lady actually tipped him off, because when they went to the house, he was not there. So anyway, long story short, obviously it's not my story. I'm not going to go into so many details, but I wanted to bring it here to show you that these residency papers are not that important. So anyway, the police tell her to take her things, to take everything, and then they take her to the shelter. Okay, and then now they started looking for the guy, looking for the guy. Now, during this time, while the guy is missing, he calls the parents, the mother of this lady, and says, oh, speak to your daughter. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I'm not that kind of man. I don't know what came over me. I'm even planning to come and pay dowry for your daughter. I know we got married quickly at the registry, and I know I haven't done things the right way, culturally. Therefore, I am actually preparing to come and pay the dowry. Please speak to your daughter. I don't want to end up in jail. I don't want to be arrested because of this. So, and then on top of that, his mother calls the lady and says, oh, don't get my son is in a foreign land and now you're going to put him in jail. This whole manipulation thing. Now, what makes me feel really sad is her own mother, because apparently her own mother told her, marriages are like this, you cannot put another person's son in jail because he lost his temper. He also said that he's coming to pay dowry for you, he's doing the right thing and all that. And I'm like, if the police themselves, they saw that this is wrong and this woman's life is in danger and they pulled her out of that house, you as the mother, you are telling her she needs to go back because she needs to, in Kenya we say vumilia, You have to endure the suffering. You have to be this long-suffering wife. It feels to me like in Africa, we have this thing, the more you suffer, it's like we glorify suffering. Like if I come here and tell you a story where I haven't suffered, you're like, oh, no, that is not interesting. But if I come here and tell you a story about suffering, I will get millions of views. And this is why on my live stream, in fact, there was a time I hosted and I said, we don't want to always listen to the stories of people who are suffering. We also want to hear stories where things have gone well. Things have gone well. People are thriving. People are happy. People are enjoying life, So anyway, this lady tells the daughter that she has to, to endure the marriage and pray for him and I feel like because this is a different generation, obviously this lady's mother is from a different generation. So she might not really fully understand. She might not fully understand what the daughter is going through. So anyway, the daughter goes to the shelter. And keep in mind, this guy had taken away her passport. She doesn't have her passport with her. Like who takes your documents away? Like I'm thinking, like, where are we? Like, why would you allow somebody to take your documents away and you don't take action and go to the police and say, this person has stolen my document, my passport? That is theft. That document does not belong to him. That is your traveling document. So now, when she came to my live stream, the reason why she was sharing this story is that she wanted us to give our opinions and ask, she wanted me to ask my followers, like, should she drop the case because the mother is been, she's been pestering her, and her own mother also has been saying, oh, you need to be a good wife and you have to endure. Marriages are like that. Marriages have challenges. Like, she was like, what should I do? Like, now I have the case. I have filed the case with the police. Should I drop the case? And now it was like, excuse me? Did you say drop the case? Mind you, this is the kind of guy, at one point he had punched her in her stomach that she started bleeding out of nowhere. And then on top of that, he I don't want to be so graphic, but he also laid with her by force. Like this paper, like me, oh my God, this gets me so angry because this paper is worth all that. This resident paper, this card, the residence card, is worth all that suffering. I don't know why we think that, moving to Europe or moving to the US or moving to Canada, it's like you're moving from hell. Your country is hell and you're moving to heaven. What kind of heaven is this? Where you are getting beaten up almost every day. Every day. And you don't know. Somebody could hit you somewhere where he's going to leave permanent damage on your body. All because of resident paper. I must protect the resident paper. Like I don't see the worth. Like I really don't. Now, let's go back to the story. This lady in Kenya, she was not like the kind of person you say she was really suffering. She had a good business that was generating her income. The money this guy was sending while she was in Kenya, she was saving it. She had savings. Another part of the story. She has a daughter in Kenya. She has a daughter from a previous relationship. And this guy was like, once her papers are sorted out, they should bring the daughter, they should process how the daughter should come to Italy. Is this an environment where you bring a child into? Like the level of self-abandonment that we are having as African women because of these residency papers, it's outrageous. It's insane. It's crazy. You find somebody who already has a life in your country. You're already doing something. You are able to pay your bills. You are living comfortably. You are able to pay for your electricity. You are able to pay for your internet. But you leave all that behind. You sell your belongings. You give away. There's another lady who said she even gave her belongings away because she was processing visa. The visa was not even out, and she had already given away all her belongings because she's moving to Maju. She's going to Maju. If you have a comfortable life in your country, my sister, just grow that life and just, thrive, because it doesn't necessarily guarantee that if you move to Italy, if you move to Germany, if you move to France, if you move to Denmark, to Norway, to Sweden, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to have a good life. In fact, you might find the life you had in Kenya was much better than the life that you're going to find in that country. Our desperation it's insane. So now this sister, she's at that point when she was sharing the story, she was in the shelter and she was considering, should I drop the case? I don't know what's going to happen now as far as my papers are concerned, because, I had not finished processing my papers. Now I don't know if the process will continue or I have to go back to Kenya. And I'm like, so what? If the papers don't process and you go back to Kenya, so what? So what? You'll be alive. You'll be safe. In Italy, you're not safe. Especially if you're still in that area where that man lives. You're not safe. Like we don't take our safety as a priority when it comes to moving to these countries. It's like we are willing to risk. Whatever happens. And you have a daughter back in your country. Who is going to raise that child if something happens to you in a foreign land? Like, we are not thinking. We are actually not thinking. And stop with trusting these people you meet online. Don't trust people you are meeting online. Just blindly trusting somebody because of the things that they are telling you. Those are just things that they are saying. Somebody tells you, I'm going to sponsor your visa. I know my way. I'm going to, I'll speak to the embassy. I'll do this. And these people don't even know their own immigration rules. In fact, I told you in another video that you know more than they do, because you're doing research. You're reading. Somebody say, you just need to do this, and you go to the embassy and they stamp your passport and you'll be here. You'll be coming here next week. That's what happened to the lady I mentioned. This guy was like, no, I'll call the embassy. I've given you my home address and everything. That's all you need, so they'll know where you'll be living. So I'll call them and you take your passport and they stamp your passport. And she believed. I'm like, why don't you get online and see what is required for that passport, for that visa, if you have the requirements? You're just believing somebody that you meet online who thinks that they know something, and they don't. They're just operating from their imagination. They don't know this is a third world country. Getting a European visa is very difficult, or getting a US visitor's visa is very difficult. You need to meet all the requirements. And then you just trust what you're told. You go, you sell your belongings, others you give away, you are moving to Maju, and you start saying goodbye to your people. Because Mzungu has said that they are going to call their embassy and I'll get the visa. So, bye-bye, lonely people. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long. I know my other video was quite long. I just wanted to mention that story and show you just the length that some people are willing to go for these so-called papers. It is wrong. It is so wrong. Put your safety. Your safety is paramount. Put it as a priority before anything else. You need to be alive. I mean, come on. I'd rather go back to Kenya and get back on those dating sites and look for somebody else rather than being dead in a foreign land, leaving your child behind. Please, take care of yourselves. Don't trust people. And don't put this resident paper as if it's it is the license to enter the promised land or something. I don't know. It's your gate pass to heaven or something. It's not heaven, my friend. Anyway, Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel today. I told you videos are coming. I had to share this one quickly before I forget, because I know I promised you I will share this story with you. So thank you so much. Please share your views below. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me about this desperation we have when it comes to this, European countries, or going to the US, or going to Canada, the desperation we have about these papers that we are willing to put our lives at risk. Tell me what you think about this. And if you have any story, please share it in the comment. I'll be there to interact with you. And thank you so much. Please like and share this video if you find it useful. Thank you so much for your support. If you have watched this whole video and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, why haven't you subscribed? Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified every time I release a new video. Thank you so much, and I shall see you on my next one. My name is Rose. Bye bye for now.